right in the middle of pure chaos. A crow aggressively pecks at a fallen guy, snatching the victim's eye. The bird holds it tight in its beak. Then that little eye reflects all the wild destruction going on around them. Panning out, we see a room completely trashed and filled with bodies. Footsteps splash right into a dark puddle. It's our boy standing there shocked, wondering what is going on. Taking it all in, he realizes he's the one who caused this whole mess. Facing the ruined city, our MC groans, saying he never wanted any of this. And so, he questions why things had to end up like this. Suddenly, the collar around his neck starts glowing. Soon after, something starts leaking out of that thing. In the blink of an eye, our guy wakes up startled in his bed. Sitting up panting, he tries to process what he just saw. He touches his neck, wondering if it's the same nightmare again. A voice echoes calling out for Ji Mingguan, restricted ability user number 1002. That voice orders him to get ready for questioning. Walking in, a guy sees our boy awake and warns that potential threats always get dealt with early. The instructor steps up, saying not everyone here is as easygoing as him. Smiling, he explains that if the MC gets how dangerous his skill is and cooperates, things will go smoothly. Our boy just looks confused, asking about this so-called ability. Getting mad, he says he was dragged from the orphanage and locked up here just to hear about his power. The nerd claims their test isn't wrong since the kid falls into the most dangerous tier. Changing the subject, the instructor mentions he asked around at the boy's old orphanage. He says that as a kid, our MC wrapped himself in paper to hide, making the others call him a monster. Also, he brings up how the staff said he loved sneaking into the computer room to play some League. Staring at him thoughtfully, the Four Eyes asks if all that is true. Right after the guy says he came exactly to answer the kid's questions. Standing up to face him, our boy offers a deal, let him out and he'll spill everything. The man in glasses just watches him with a dead serious look. According to the tests, the instructor explains our MC can bend reality, and since he likes gaming, his power will probably show up like that. He goes on, guessing the power might turn into a game stage to test him and help him figure it out. Annoyed, the kid asks if the guy is some pre-programmed robot. Sighing, the instructor notes the boy still doesn't get the situation. But as the glasses guy starts leaving, our boy yells at him to wait. The kid says he knows his situation perfectly, having been locked in there by this guy for a whole month. Reaching his hand out, he desperately asks when he's going to get out of this place. With his back turned, the suit replies that if he plays nice and cooperates, then maybe. He finishes his sentence as the door shuts, saying the kid can leave when he's all grown up. Ji Mingguan realizes this means there's a huge chance he's never making it out of that lab alive. Thinking he'll be a goner by the time he qualifies, he just punches the wall hard. Cracks are forming on the wall like it's glass. Shattering completely, a message pops up welcoming player number 1. Shards scatter through the air in a massive flash of light. Surrounded by glowing pieces, our boy is completely clueless about what's going down. Floating in a digital space full of blue shards, he wonders what this is. Then he remembers the instructor saying his power would probably be game-related. Stepping firmly on the virtual floor, he figures this has to be his system. Something wraps completely around him while a notification says the Infinite Division game finished loading. Right after, another prompt pops up telling him the next step is character creation. Everything around him expands fast, like he's traveling at warp speed. A character profile drops, showing Gu Wenyu, 17, Asian, with all base stats at rank C, belonging to one of 3 extraordinary races. His backstory reveals he lives in Longo's capital, awakened a dark restriction power, and his family of 10 years is hiding secrets. Watching all this lore project around him, our boy takes it all in. Next, a second profile pops up for Andre, 16, Caucasian, with lower stats, who's a curiosity bearer obsessed with weird tales. The system then asks him to pick one identity to be his first character in the theater known as the real world. Staring at the options, he's ready to choose and says, I pick. Deciding on the Esper Gwenyu, the system tells him to pick a growth path, hero, villain, or gray character. Without hesitating, he locks in option C, and a message says a unique character training system is generating. While his number 1 character is made reasonable in the real world, the MC wonders if the game's lead Jing is the same as his old orphanage town. He realizes he can use this guy to investigate the scumbags who dragged him here. Figuring a gray character walking between light and dark has a better shot, Ji Mingguan knows he can get the intel he needs. The countdown starts. 3, 2, 1. Right after, a beam of light slices through the pitch black. That glow expands, filling up everything. Waking up somewhere else, our guy squints at the brightness, wondering if that's actual sunlight. He finds himself in a loud classroom, kids cheering for summer break and screaming with hype. Still confused, he looks around, trying to figure out where he is. At that moment, he sprints over and slams the window open. Standing by the window, our boy keeps trying to process his new spawn point. Spotting a courtyard with trees, he finally realizes he made it outside. The view opens up to a whole city at sunset, leaving him stunned, wondering if he actually escaped. Looking at the city, he can barely believe his eyes. Still at the window, he mutters that he actually got out. Out of nowhere, someone grabs him in a hug, catching him off guard. It's Lee Chingping, Gu Wenyu's best friend, inviting him over to his place later. Just then, a prompt pops up saying Gu Wenyu's memories are loading and a massive data dump is incoming. Energy swirls around his head as the system confirms the memory download. Looking worried, Lee holds his bro and asks if he's alright. Our MC pants heavily, but soon the system says the memories are fully installed. Bouncing back with a smile, he says he's fine, just overslept and has a slight headache. The MC dips, saying he's got stuff to do and will hit up his friend's house another time. Lee looks confused, but our boy reminds him they've got the whole summer and plenty of free time anyway. Yelling out, his friend asks where he's heading. Our guy just ignores him, rushing past two girls on the stairs. Pushing the door, he steps out onto the school rooftop, and then he slams his backpack onto the ground. Running out hyped, he screams that he actually made it, feeling the real air and temps, knowing it's not a dream. Pausing, he takes a second to think about his location. Kicking a pebble, he confirms this is Lejing, meaning he used his power to return to his city. At the edge of the roof, he questions if this is body possession or creation, and if he just forced someone into this world's lore. The kid thinks about the butterfly effect, realizing that a power capable of rewriting the world like this is absolutely cracked. With a slight smirk, he reflects on the whole setup. Our MC gets why things are like this. If they found out about this OP skill, his real body would never leave that lab. Walking along the ledge, he recalls that based on his downloaded memories, this body's power is. Suddenly, he just throws himself off and starts falling. Mid-fall, this black and purple energy flares from his arm. His eyes glow red like some kind of vampire. The power shifts into multiple bands wrapping right around him, manifesting as black containment straps. Those straps float around him, giving off a seriously badass and sinister aura. Taking a look, our guy controls the dark energy with his hand. He shoots them out just like Spider-Man. A strap latches onto a wall like a web. Then, our boy goes swinging between the buildings. Down below, two people look up, spooked by the blur zooming past. The guy asks if something just flew over, and the girl thinks it's a UFO, but her friend says they're just seeing things. Landing on another roof, our MC laughs out loud, having a blast with his new skill. He thinks the power is cracked, even if the name Black Containment Straps sounds a bit goofy. And right after, he jumps again, using his power to speed through the city. His target is the Lejing orphanage. Upon arriving, he stops on a roof and is amazed to see the place is actually there. He remembers looking at the city from the attic as a kid, wondering about the outside world, but never leaving. That memory leaves him looking thoughtful for a second. Soon, he reaches the Demai residential complex and stares at the house, calling it this body's home. Accessing Gu Wenyu's memories, he sees a simple family, parents, an older brother, and a little sister. But he also recalls a tragedy 5 years ago when his mom, Su Ying, was accidentally taken out by Rainbow Wing, an elite UN guild. He remembers his dad, Gu Jujualin, tried appealing but failed, falling into despair and ditching home 2 years ago. Standing at the door, our boy figures it's better this way. Without the dad, he only has to deal with the siblings, Gu Chie and Sujie. That detail leaves him feeling a little suspicious, but trying to open the door, a gear icon pops up on the handle, making him wonder what it is. Our boy taps the icon, watching it glow with a clicking sound. Suddenly, a system panel drops in front of him, showing options like Dungeon List and Character Info. He realizes it's the settings menu and spots more tabs like Stats, Quests to Grab, and a skill tree. The word Quests grabs his attention, sparking his curiosity. Right then, the front door creaks open. From inside, a voice says they've been waiting forever for him. And that's where it gets crazy. Main quests flood the screen, telling him to investigate his best friend, dad, and sister, while the guy inside asks why he's just standing there. Quest number 4 tells him to find out what his brother Gu Chie is hiding, right as our MC locks eyes with the guy. Gu Chie mentions he's home early, while our boy just stares back, caught off guard, flashing a creepy smile. The older brother says dinner is ready and to eat while it's hot. That's when our MC notices Chi holding a messy red-stained cleaver, instantly putting him on high alert. Sweating bullets, our guy suspiciously asks if he really cooked dinner himself. Sitting at the table, he praises the food before Chie asks where their little sister went. Our boy explains she went to a friend's for a sleepover, knowing that's just what's in Gu Wenyu's memories. The brother then says he's exhausted and heading to bed, and our MC just nods along. Mid-bite, a system panel pops up saying the character's skill tree is loaded. The virtual screen lays out the current progress for each skill branch. He spots 3 options: seeing and hearing through walls, boosting his strap range, and scanning target info. Checking his 1 skill point, the kid figures a spying and tracking skill is the best play right now. Out of nowhere, a breaking news report flashes on the TV. The anchor reports that an Esper codenamed Blue Arc stopped a downtown crime, taking down a wanted suspect. Our boy closely watches the broadcast. Then, he remembers that these ability users, or Espers, belong to official guilds, usually a branch of the Esper Association. Our MC figures if Blue Arc is a top-tier Esper, the group holding his real body hostage might just be that same association. Realizing there's no time to waste, he decides to make a move. He immediately drops his skill point, and the system confirms he learned Hidden Sense, unlocking the next branch. A fresh wave of perception hits him, mapping the entire room's layout right inside his head. He realizes that with just a single thought, he can now spy on any spot he wants. Right then, a panel shows quest rewards unlocked: 1 division point, 1 skill point, and 1 stat point. The screen explains division points make new characters, skill points upgrade the tree, and stat points buff attributes. It hits him that, eventually, he'll be running multiple game characters at the exact same time. Suddenly, he hears a walkie-talkie calling Blue Arc for a new mission, saying a villain named Greenwing is at Legion Plaza. Using his new tracking skill, our boy notices the sound is coming from Gucci Ye's room. Inside, an annoyed Chi complains, yelling again. He grumbles for a break, since he just got back injured from fighting another thug. The radio says Greenwing demanded him by name, took hostages, and will eliminate 1 every 10 minutes, making Chie curse the scumbag out. Sighing heavily, he knows this night won't give him a single second of rest. Then, Gucci stands up as his clothes start shifting, getting ready to head out. Kie finishes his transformation, now fully geared up in his hero armor. Our MC smirks, finally realizing his older brother is the Blue Arc guy from the news. The radio rushes the hero, warning that the villains are prepping to wipe out the first hostage. The older brother replies that he got the message. He gives the order to stall the villain without letting any hostages get hurt, promising he's on his way. Right Esther's Blue Arc blasts out the window at insane speeds. Our guy is impressed, calling him the city's superstar for moving that fast while injured. Instantly, the main quest clears for finding Chie's secret, updating to make him build a partnership with Blue Arc. Our boy complains the quest is dragging him into this mess. While over at Lijiang Plaza, a cop wonders why Blue Arc is MIA. In the middle of the chaos, someone notes Greenwing is super erratic and the hostages are in deep trouble, doubting the hero will make it. A little kid cries desperately in their mom's arms. Up on the roof, the hostages are huddled together and surrounded by armed goons. The villain, Greenwing, yells for Blue Arc to stop hiding, warning he'll drop the first hostage in 10 seconds. Flashing an evil grin, he starts the countdown from 10 to 9. The winged monster keeps counting down, hovering closer to 0. Hitting number 2, Blue Arc finally shows up, landing with a massive crash. Greenwing mocks him, calling the hero his dear Blue Arc and the city's golden boy, always stealing the spotlight. Firing back, the hero calls out his cliché villain speech and demands to know what he really wants. Greenwing offers a deal: if the hero surrenders quietly, the hostages go free. But Blue Arc just points, saying he'd rather save the hostages first and body him right after. The villain drops that every hostage is rigged with a timer, and his partner in the crowd will detonate them if the hero twitches. Taunting him, Greenwing asks if he'll really sacrifice himself, since losing a few civilians is nothing to a guy who's seen it all. Frustrated, the hero knows he could disarm them if his body wasn't so wrecked from his last fight. Just then, a hostage screams for Blue Arc not to give up. Getting mad, the villain tells the hostage to shut it. That shout makes the person visibly freeze in fear. Out of patience, Greenwing says his partner is hitting the detonator since the hero won't choose, yelling at him to fire. Blue Arc panics and tries to stop him, screaming for him to wait, except the goon looks confused, asking why no one is moving and wondering if they heard him. Suddenly, the goon's weapon just drops right to the floor. Dark energy wraps around the thug, leaving him completely clueless as to what's happening. No one saw that coming. Both Blue Arc and Greenwing are absolutely shook by this plot twist. Purple tentacles grab the bad guy, dragging him away from the hostages while he screams in terror. One of the hostages looks back, totally lost about what just went down. Greenwing screams at Blue Arc, accusing him of bringing backup and threatening to blow the bombs, but the hero swears the new guy isn't with him. Repeating the threat, the villain orders the guy to back off or the hostages go boom, but the hero insists he doesn't know him. Furious, Greenwing asks who he is right as our boy lands, while a system screen reveals his setup is the social superstar system, rewarding bonds with superhumans. Holding a book, our guy thinks socializing quests are tough but decides to try since making an Esper friend good or bad earns a stat point. The villain yells he doesn't care who he is and tells him to bounce or he'll trigger the bombs and wipe out half the plaza along with the hostages. Our MC reads his book, which says step 1 is mirroring the other person's mindset to build a connection, so he gets the game plan. So he turns to Greenwing and taunts him, telling him to chill and just detonate everything if he's actually got the guts. Our boy adds he doubts the villain is dumb enough to actually follow through. He explains that losing the hostages means losing his only leverage and asks who's really gonna be screwed then. The villain gets totally triggered and freezes up, not knowing how to clap back. That monster threatens to take him out unless he drops his men, while our boy reads step 2, meet their demands. Snapping his fingers, our MC just says, alright, whatever you want. Instantly, the tentacles gripping one of the goons squeeze even tighter, silencing him completely. The goon screams as he's completely dismantled and vanishes into the dark energy. Greenwing stands totally paralyzed in shock, watching this brutal flex unfold. On the ground, a dark puddle marks exactly where the henchman got dusted. Sarcastically, our MC mentions he did exactly what was asked and let them go. Holding a messed up energy sphere, he asks Greenwing why he looks so upset. Right after the other goon gets dismantled, completely losing his head. Blue Arc watches the whole thing, absolutely floored by how savage that was. Gritting his teeth with rage, Greenwing curses our boy out, calling him a scumbag. The villain just nopes out of there and our MC realizes he probably botched the greeting. He decides to drop it, figuring bad guys are too hard to befriend, and resolves to buddy up with a justice type instead. Then his dark energy tentacles sweep around the terrified hostages. One of the hostages reacts with pure terror, having zero clue what's going on. The tentacles then lift up the dismantled goons' heads for everyone to see. Our boy tells the crowd that since those guys threaten them, it's payback time. The woman screams in sheer panic, completely horrified by the messy display. Suddenly, a system warning pops up saying his character deviation hit 30% and he needs to chill his methods to win over heroes. Our guy complains he didn't know networking was this hard, sarcastically wondering if he should stitch the bad guys back together. Answering the system, our boy uses his dark tentacles to grab the heads and pop them right back onto the bodies. With a proud smile, he claims they're good as new, like nothing ever popped off. Except the kids and the woman get even more freaked out by this bizarre magic trick, shaking in fear. Another system alert shows deviation dropping from 40 to 30 but warns that crossing 70 triggers a berserk state. So our guy walks up to the kids, trying to calm them down by saying it was just a hologram and the heads are securely attached. But right as he says that, the head of one fixed goon just rolls right off his neck again. The mess ends up staining a kid's clothes, leaving him entirely paralyzed. Wide-eyed and crying, the boy goes into a full-blown panic attack over what he just witnessed. Screaming his lungs out, the kid cries while our MC looks annoyed as the deviation spikes to 42%. Our MC awkwardly calls it a total accident, complaining that making friends is pure trash. But in just a few seconds, Blue Arc blitzes and covered in lightning, stopping our guy and demanding to know his identity. Our boy explains he's just a gray character, not wanting to be a hero or a villain and refusing labels. Turning to the hero, he asks for a little trust, guaranteeing they'll be best bros soon enough. Blue Arc isn't buying it and questions him, pointing out he just eliminated those thugs. With his back turned, our guy asks if he prefer the hostages were the ones who met their end. The hero insists taking lives is illegal and he needs to face justice, but our MC calls him boring, saying he's just acting for the cameras. Gathering dark energy in his hand, he invites Blue Arc to chat somewhere more private. He mentions he wants to hear the hero's actual unfiltered thoughts. Just like that, a sphere of darkness shoots straight at Blue Arc. Blue Arc reacts instantly, cloaking himself in blue lightning and getting ready to fight. Over on the other side, our boy waits and asks if Mr. Blue Arc is down to meet up. Then he starts backing away. Leaping off, he adds that whether to follow or not is entirely up to the hero. Blue Arc just watches him from above. A tiny shadow materializes in his hand, leaving the hero deep in thought. It flickers before dissolving completely right in front of him. Out of nowhere, the greenling guy who ran away comes back furious, yelling he's fed up and asking if he's invisible. Blue Arc turns around and tells him to surrender quietly, warning he really doesn't want to mess with this 5-color alien iron. The winged clown looks confused but warns the whole area is surrounded by association espers and there's no escape. But then he points to a blonde guy on a nearby roof, reminding him that the hostages. The blonde guy finishes the sentence, confirming he still holds the hostages. Blue Arc questions the hostage claim and tells the villain to take a closer look. And just like that, everything changed. Green Wing realizes the hostages are actually his own tied-up goons. Realizing he got clowned, he loses his mind and screams a curse. With 0 leverage left, the winged freak just flies out of there. A minute later, Blue Arc is sprinting across a roof, leaving a trail of blue energy. He builds momentum, jumping with a massive burst of lightning, continuing the chase. Blue Arc stops at a plaza, ordering whoever's hiding to reveal themselves. A voice drops from above saying he knew he'd follow him here. It's our MC hanging upside down from his dark tentacles, calling out for Mr. Blue Arc. The hero demands one more time to know who the hell he is. Dropping down, our boy explains he doesn't have a name yet, but that's the fun of being a public figure. People name what they fear. He smoothly shifts topics, asking if the hero is curious about what he's looking at. Through his powers, our MC projects an old newspaper about a tragedy where someone's mom was taken out by the association and the dad got no justice because the killer was from the Rainbow Wing Guild. Our boy exposes everything, calling the hero by his real name, Gu Chi-ye. Continuing, he says Chi-ye was only 13 when he watched his mom get completely crushed right in front of him. Our guy walks away, sympathizing with his motherless childhood and noting that's the day Chi-ye started hating corrupt espers. He explains that's exactly why he awakened, building rep in the association to climb to the top ranks. Clenching his fist super hard, our MC drops the ultimate plan, infiltrating the Rainbow Wing Guild to find the guy who squashed his mom. Gichiwei calls it all nonsense, but a creepy dark aura with eyes surrounds him, proving he's triggered. Our boy offers to help out, suggesting they team up to infiltrate the guild and hunt down the esper who destroyed his mom. Wielding dark energy blades, he promises that after that, Gu Chi-ye can finally get his epic revenge. In exchange for the carry, our boy says he just needs Gu Chi-ye to help with one tiny insignificant favor. Blue Arc, looking suspicious, asks what that favor is. Turning to leave, our guy says it's safer to keep it secret so Chi-ye doesn't get screwed over, adding he'll be super active in the city and counting on him. The hero stops him with a shout and, wrapped in energy, demands to know how he figured out his identity. With a sly smirk, our MC replies that the reason is dead simple. Pointing at his own mask, he explains he can see exactly what's hiding under anyone's disguise. Furious, Blue Arc calls Cap, his blue lightning crackling everywhere. He stares him down, asking if our boy really thinks he can't absolutely body him right here. In a flash of dark and electric energy, our MC just vanishes, clashing against Blue Arc. The impact triggers a massive blue explosion that completely covers the forest area. From a distance, our guy tells the hero to stop pushing his busted waist and neck, asking if he shouldn't go heal up first. Then he waves goodbye and dips into a purple energy vortex, leaving the hero behind. A heavy rain starts pouring down, with lightning tearing through the sky. Alone on the roof, Blue Arc just stands in the storm, lost in thought. He clenches his fist so hard that red starts dripping between his fingers. A bit later at the Gaimai complex, the storm is still going crazy. Our boy makes it to his apartment, shoes completely soaked from the rain. Walking in, he realizes his bro Blue Arc still isn't back, impressed that the guy is still grinding out missions while totally injured. Next, a system screen shows Phase 2 of the main quest allying with Blue Arc to build guild connections is still incomplete. Rubbing his face, our guy figures getting Gu Chi-ye's trust right now is basically impossible. But he hypes himself up knowing he didn't leave empty-handed. Finishing Phase 1 got him a division point, a skill point, and a stat point. Checking out the virtual screens, he wonders if they'll call him Freak or Bandage Monster, regretting not dropping a badass name back at the plaza. Finally, his stat page pops up for 17-year-old Guan Yu, showing all rank G attributes and 1 free point, making him think about where to drop it. Analyzing the page, our guy spots the options: strength for physical power, speed for reaction time, and spirit for mental stats. He decides speed is the ultimate meta, dropping his point there to guarantee the first strike and dodge getting one shot. Confirming the choice, the screen upgrades his speed from rank C to C+, putting all his stats nicely in the C tier. After spending the point, he taps another screen to open his character skill tree. Our boy just stares at the flashy interface popping up right in front of him. The skill tree activates, blasting yellow energy all over the screen. System specs show 3 dark containment branches. Branch 1 is hidden, branch 2 is frenzy, and branch 3 is vicious. He thinks about his current skills. Truth containment works as a lie detector, while containment detection lets him scan someone's stats just by touching them. Looking at the Frenzy Branch's containment extension, he realizes that's totally the combat power route. But raw power isn't the priority right now. Surviving and tracking clues is. So he spends his point on the Vicious Branch to learn containment detection. The screen then says the next vicious skill, Containment Suppression, is unlocked, letting him temporarily nerf a trapped target's powers. Finding is super useful, he wonders what counts as trapped. Does he need to wrap their whole body, or is a knot on their leg enough? Determined, he decides to just unlock it first and find some dummy to test the rules on later. With a serious look, he gears up for his next move. He taps a new system prompt asking, create a new game character. The system tells him division progress is incomplete. He can't make a new avatar because he needs 3 division points and only has 1. RMC realizes he only needs 2 more points for another character, letting him push the orphanage plan with a backup body just in case. Sitting on the edge of his bed, he spaces out staring at the window. All of a sudden, he turns around spooked like he heard something. Right then, he spots a hand covered in blue lightning twisting his doorknob. The door swings open and Blue Arc stands in the doorway staring right at him. He just stares intensely at our boy, only to see his brother is deep in sleep. Somewhere else, a voice calls for Restricted Esper 1002, Ji Minggu, saying his instructor is here for questioning. That instructor pulls up a chair and asks if he wants to hear about the Espers out in the real world. Then the nerd introduces himself, calling the kid little bro Ji Minggu. Lying in bed, the kid hears the voice and just mumbles a He looks like he's totally knocked out, face buried in the pillow. But then he wakes up, sits up yawning, and casually wishes the guy a good evening. The instructor notices his good mood and mentions it reminded him of something important. Smiling, the guy asks how the kid even knew it was nighttime. Ji Min-go says, it's obvious since the guy always shows up to annoy him right when he's trying to sleep. The man just gives a little smirk. Turning around, he apologizes, saying he just wanted to ask one question. Then, he holds up a tablet showing our boy's avatar and asks about this person. With a deadpan look, Ji Min-go listens to the guy ask if the person in the photo is actually him. A prophecy said he'd destroy the world, so they locked him in this mystery chamber from day one. But down there, he awakened the cracked ability to create avatars. Because of that, he let countless clones roam the world in his place. Each one of those avatars grew and leveled up on their own, evolving non-stop. They all eventually became endgame bosses. The big question was whether he should escape, survive, or seek pure revenge. That was a huge dilemma hanging in the air. But he tries that punch trick again. The kid decides that since things are like this, he might as well just conquer the whole world. He casually drops that his avatar is turning into the final boss. A system voice warns physical contact is banned, and the kid screams in pain as a white-haired girl shows up. She screams right along with him, but our boy calms her down, saying it's fine and won't take him out since he's gotten used to getting shocked here. He asks if they made her do something to see him, like answering their questions. In response, the girl just holds up a notebook and pen, ready to write. Annoyed, he realizes if she asks directly, she'll definitely get punished later, knowing the instructors would never let her ask about his power. So he lies, saying he doesn't know anything but mentally apologizes because dropping his secret means neither of them is leaving. The girl just keeps holding the notebook in silence. Then she looks down, seeming pretty disappointed by his answer. Lifting the notebook in front of her face, she still holds that sad look. Seeing her reaction, the boy gives a slightly awkward smile. Just then a voice starts saying, "I," but the instructor steps in, announcing visiting hours are over and ordering them to take the girl away. The glasses guy says if the kid behaves, he'll see her again, asking if he finally believes they haven't hurt her. Sarking back, the kid calls it real nice of them to lock an 11-year-old up, asking if they want a medal for not hurting her and mocking their loose morals. The instructor admits he forgets the kid is only 12, adding that he's always acting and no normal 12-year-old overthinks like this. Asking for one question, the kid gets the green light from the instructor. Dead serious. He asks why they don't just eliminate him if he's destined to end the world, wondering if they'll regret it when he loses control and nukes the whole lab. Throwing the question back, the glasses guy asks if he really wants the truth. He just replies with a firm, "Spill it." The instructor explains that near-death espers can unleash powers way beyond their limit, so keeping him contained is their only safe bet. Lying there, the kid laughs, calling that amazing news because knowing they won't secretly end him helps him sleep way better. The instructor just sighs, looking totally awkward. After that, he stands up and calls it a day, telling the kid to get some rest. Our boy watches the instructor walk away. Next up, the scene cuts back to the Gimai district in Lijiang. A system screen says welcome back, confirming his consciousness is loaded into avatar number 1, Gu Wenyu. It also drops a notification that thanks to his rising clout, the character's Esper's codename got an update. Now his brand new title is Black Pupa. Smirking, our boy thinks it's wild they gave him a title in less than half a day, which is definitely something. Our MC locks in his game plan, find the lab's exact coordinates, then stealthily rescue his real body and Kong Yuling. Looking at the city, he decides if stealth fails, he's just gonna have to go all out. At that moment, the image of Kong Yuling smiling pops into his head. This is where it gets good. He decides he's just gonna absolutely body all of them. The scene cuts to a closed bedroom door. Seconds later, a sound gives away that the door is opening. Caught completely off guard, our boy sweats, realizing someone just got home. And then, a silhouette holding a tennis racket steps into the dark room. Our boy scrambles and dives into bed, faking like he's totally knocked out. Peeking with one eye, he thinks he's super lucky to have reacted fast and probably dodged detection. But right after, footsteps start creeping closer to the bed. Looking up, he spots Suzy Mai standing there, racket raised and looking super menacing. Out of nowhere, the system drops main quest 3, figure out what his sister Suzy Mai is hiding, leaving our guy totally confused. Suzy Mai then aggressively swings the racket right at our guy lying in bed. He widens his eyes, completely shook by her sudden attack. Reacting fast, he throws his hand up to block and frantically asks what she's doing. The girl snaps back, calling him a lazy bum for sleeping until 3 in the afternoon. Digging into the memories, our MC remembers she's 16 and Gu Wenyu is 17, but his sickly look makes him seem like the youngest sibling. He also recalls their last names are different because the parents decided boys take the dad's name and girls take the mom's. Arms crossed, Suzy Mai turns her head away, saying she's totally out of patience with him. Totally clueless about her attitude, our boy wonders what her deal is and just clicks on the TV. On the TV, the local Lijiang News is reporting on a brand new Esper who showed up last night to stop a Greenwing kidnapping. The reporter says the Esper eliminated 5 thugs and saved 5 hostages using black straps, and witnesses described him as a cocoon hanging upside down. Right after the broadcast announces the vice president of the Esper Association is going to break the case down, keeping our boy glued to the screen. The guy on the screen then declares that, based on his powers and looks, the new Esper is officially named Black Pupa and temporarily ranked as a B-tier target. Surprised, our boy figures out that Espers are actually sorted into different power levels. Looking at Suzy Mai on the couch, he plans to use containment detection on her to see what power she's hiding, and maybe clear main quest 3 right now. A system screen explains that containment detection drops a human target's stats and skills the moment they get touched by the straps. Right away, our MC activates his skill, sending one of his black bands stretching straight toward the couch, slowly creeping up behind Suzy Mai. The dark strap moves in while she's completely distracted laying there on her phone. Next thing you know, the tip of the band gently taps right on her back. Jumping instantly, she feels a sudden chill run through her whole body as her eyes flash purple. Feeling her reaction too, our guy stares right back at her with a serious and surprised look. Sitting up fast, the girl blushes a bit, totally confused about what just went down. Playing it cool, our MC walks over and offers her a soda, asking if she wants a sip. Holding the can, the young girl wonders about that sudden wave of danger she just felt, guessing it might have just been her imagination. Meanwhile, our boy takes a gulp of his drink, noticing that main quest 3 still hasn't cleared. He then wonders if it's because he hasn't seen her actually use her powers, or if he still needs to figure out her role among the demon hunters. Just then, the system drops Suzy Mai's stats, revealing she's an exorcist with rank D power, C++ speed, rank B mental, and a sealed fridge demon. Remembering character creation, our MC recalls the system mentioning 3 races, but he only knew about Espers and curio bearers. Now he finally gets that the missing piece, the 3rd race, is actually the exorcists. Out of nowhere, a long-haired guy steps into the room and acts surprised to see them both there, mentioning it's super rare to catch them hanging out. Smiling, the newcomer grabs an apron, saying, since everyone is home, he's gonna handle dinner tonight. Warning them with a grin, the long-haired Gu Chie tells them nobody is leaving before they eat. Recognizing him as Blue Arc, our MC remembers Shiwei was heavily injured last night but looks perfectly fine now, realizing Espers must heal insanely fast. Suzy Mai then drops the news to Gu Chie that their dad is coming home tonight, which instantly wipes the smile off the older brother's face. Looking super gloomy, Gu Chie just replies that if the old man wants to show up, let him come. Sighing, the girl hopes they don't start fighting again since it's been 2 years, but our boy just shrugs and says, who knows? Grabbing a tablet, our guy starts looking up how the association ranks Espers based on their threat levels. He pulls up a tier list going from T5 harmless all the way up to T0 restricted, which is the absolute highest danger level. The Surge explains that T5s aren't a threat and can work normal jobs, while T4s are a bit stronger but still pretty mid. Meanwhile, the T3 Ogre class is the elite squad of superhumans, and T2 Dragons form the main backbone of the Esper Association. Hitting T1 Calamity is the bare minimum requirement to even be considered for the overpowered Rainbow Wing Guild. And finally, the T0 Restricted class, which according to association stats, only ever had one user in history, and he's already confirmed as dusted. Chilling on the couch, our MC figures if there was only one restricted user ever and he's supposedly gone, they're definitely talking about him. Thinking about how he lives trapped in that lab, he feels like he might as well be gone, wondering if the folks holding him are actually from the association. The kid concludes that going to war with the lab would be like declaring war on the UN, and those Calamity tier guys would 100% hunt him down. Flashing a calculating look, he just thinks to himself, maybe. Staring at his family, Gucci Wei figures he needs to find a way to use them as free backup for his master plans. He believes that if he plays his fake relative role right, manipulating them won't be that hard at all. Also, he remembers that thanks to their mom's tragedy, they all already hold a grudge against Rainbow Wing, making it super easy to keep them on the same side. The older brother then decides that by pulling together everyone they can call for backup, their squad is going to be a massive force to reckon with. Right then, Gucci turns around and calls our MC by his nickname Xiao Yu, starting to ask him something. Giving off this demonic aura while holding the knife, he asks straight up if our boy stayed home all night long. Suzumai nods along, mentioning that now that he brings it up, our MC has actually been acting super weird today. Caught totally off guard by the direct question, our guy is completely shook and doesn't even know what to say. Tensing up, our MC wonders if they're onto him, so he quickly makes up an excuse, claiming he crashed right after dinner. Continuing the interrogation, Gucci asks if he heard anything weird late at night, but our boy denies it, asking if it was a burglar. The older brother brushes it off, saying it was nothing and telling him to just drop it. Suddenly, Suzumai steps closer and stares down our MC, who awkwardly asks why she's looking at him like that. She explains he's talking way more than usual since he normally barely says a word and just stays locked in his room. Announcing he's heading out, his sister calls him a lazy pig again for sleeping in until the afternoon. Giving some advice, Gucci tells our MC it's good to go out and socialize, warning him not to end up like their dad who just ignores the family. Chopping some meat, the older brother reminisces about how their mom treated everyone so well, and how the vibe at home used to be way better. Choosing to stay quiet, our boy figures he doesn't really know how a real family works, since even though he treats Kong Yuling like family, they're mostly just best friends. Out of nowhere, the doorbell rings, completely breaking the awkward tension in the room. Running to the front, Suzumai excitedly says he's finally here. But opening the door, her expression instantly drops, looking super serious and caught off guard. Staying completely silent for a second, she just stares at whoever's standing on the other side. With a tight voice, she turns back and tells her brother their dad is home, as a dark silhouette looms in the doorway. Gucci goes quiet too, just watching his dad's unexpected return. Our boy just eyes the massive figure standing there, noticing those glowing red eyes. Covered in the dark, intimidating shadow, the man's silhouette only reveals a single glowing red eye. Then, an older guy with a gray beard and hair walks in, and the system drops main quest 2. Investigate what his dad, Guzua-an, is hiding. Thinking to himself, our MC realizes this guy is the head of the household. He recalls the man's full name, Guzuan, while staring him down. Taking advantage of Suzumai and Gucci keeping their heads down and avoiding eye contact, our boy decides this is the perfect chance to make a move. Stretching his arm, his black band sneaks quietly right toward Guzuan. Spotting the movement, the older man turns around asking what that thing is. Suddenly, a massive purple snake with glowing green eyes materializes right behind him, ready to strike. Moving at crazy speed, Guzuan's hand shoots straight for our MC. Before he can even react, the dad grabs his wrist with insane grip strength, making the kid realize things are going south fast. The system then pops up saying the condition is met since the target was touched, activating containment detection, while our boy annoyedly thinks this old fox is way sharper than Suzumai. Stepping up with a serious look, Gucci asks Guzua-an what he thinks he's doing. Trying to play it off awkwardly, our MC stutters that he just wanted to brush some dust off his dad's shoulder. Guzuan just stares back with a cold, suspicious glare, not saying a single word. Letting go of our boy's wrist, Guzuan apologizes, explaining he's been living on the edge for 2 years, so his nerves are shot and he overreacted to a simple touch. But keeping his head down, the older man still questions that weird vibe he just felt, finding the whole thing super suspicious. Trying to wrap his head around it, he wonders what that creepy feeling was right when they touched. He compares the feeling to a ghost snake crawling up his shoulder, piercing his heart with those green eyes. All of a sudden, the system announces Quest 2 is cleared, and our MC thinks that despite the risk, he got exactly what he wanted, scoring a division point, a skill point, and a stat point. Right after, the quest updates, telling him to team up with the supervillain Ghost Bell to build connections, which totally catches our boy off guard. At the exact same time, Gu Chie reacts in shock too, yelling out the name of the supervillain Ghost Bell. And that's where it gets crazy. Our MC stares at his dad and finally puts it together, realizing Gu Zhuan is actually Ghost Bell. Recalling the villain's file from before, he remembers a guy with cracked stats who summons a clock tower and a shadow to fight, spending the last 2 years hunting corrupt espers. The file also said the association could never catch him, and he always left a message demanding they send Rainbow Wing, making everything finally click for our boy. Connecting the dots, RMC figures Gu Zuan's master plan is playing bait to lure out the Rainbow Wing member who took his wife, planning to get payback with his own hands. The irony hits him that Gu Chie took the exact opposite route to avenge their mom, joining the association to climb into Rainbow Wing and face the enemy head-on. Father and son, chasing the exact same goal, took completely different paths and ended up on opposite sides thanks to a twist of fate. Confronting his dad, Gu Chie tells him to drop that attitude at home, asking how they can even trust him after he vanished for 2 years just to come back acting like this. Venting it all out, he says his dad hasn't changed since their mom passed away, obsessed with the dead while ignoring his kid's pain, asking if Gu Zuan ever realized they were broken by the loss too. Jumping into the argument, Suzumai says they all hid their feelings to make things easier, but he treated them like ghosts, asking if he has any idea how many times she cried begging him to come back. Their dad just listens in silence, thinking to himself that he never should have promised to come back one day. Turning his back, Kuchie drops that a guy like their dad should spend the rest of his life hugging a coffin, since only dead people matter to him anyway. Right then, Gu Zuan turns around and questions his oldest son, asking, "What about you?" Taunting him. The dad asks if he's already forgotten his own mother. That accusation gets Gu Chie absolutely furious, making him let out a shocked yell. Without a second thought, the older brother lunges and grabs his dad's collar, telling him to shut his mouth. Screaming that his dad has no clue what he's been doing, Gu Chie keeps raging while our MC and his sister just watch the fight blow up. Our boy starts firing back, saying they don't have a clue either, but cuts himself off in frustration before finishing. Stepping in, our MC unleashes a blue aura and grabs his brother's arm, yelling at them to knock it off. With his eyes glowing blue, he silently stares his brother down, proving he's completely out of patience. Watching his youngest son step up, Gu Zuan has a clearly surprised look written all over his face. Cooling down, our boy keeps a dead serious and determined look, showing he's ready to lay down the law in this house. Breaking up the fight, our MC pushes his brother off their dad and yells that it's enough. Spotting the open bedroom door, he suddenly realizes his little sister just ran away from home. Standing there in silence for a second, he tries to process this whole mess. Determined, our boy announces he's going out to bring Suzumai back. Next thing we see, he's already walking alone through the city streets late at night. Chilling in an alley, our MC thinks this family drama is totally ridiculous and he definitely wasn't built for it. Deciding it's the perfect time to push the next phase of his plan, he pulls something out of his pocket. Meanwhile, the family house is left behind in the dark of the night. Whipping out his phone, he sees a text from a burner number asking if he believes it now and if he's starting to doubt his dad. Just staring at the message, our boy tries to figure out how to reply. Typing fast, he sends back a quick text asking who the hell is on the other end. Replying back, the number claims to be Black Pupa and says they're using that name to jog his memory. Totally surprised, our MC repeats Black Pupa to himself while glaring at the screen. Keeping the chat going, he asks if the sender is worried about getting tracked, but they clap back saying he'd just end up tracking his own house. Admitting his old man is acting shady, our boy asks what he's hiding, but the mystery contact says they might spill, but only when their partnership levels up a bit. Posing as Gu Chie, our boy shoots one last question, and the unknown contact tells him to hit them with it. He straight up asks if the person texting is his dad, but the reply shocks him so hard he basically spits his drink. Dripping with sarcasm, the contact asks if our MC is treating them like his own father or something. Losing his patience, our guy gets straight to the point and demands to know what exactly this person wants from him. Waiting quietly for a reply, he keeps a dead serious look, trying to figure out what this mystery contact's angle is. The sender texts back that the info is top secret, warning that if they wanted to be an enemy, they would have made a move way earlier. Following up, the contact says they could have just exposed his his identity and used his siblings as leverage, but didn't. So, our MC figures that even without full trust, he can work with him for now. Right after, the system announces the Blue Arc Alliance quest is cleared, dropping the rewards. The quest upgrades to a joint op, and he gets the green light to roll a second character, making him hype up his success. Out of the blue, Suzy Mai pops up behind him asking what he's talking about, totally curious about his little celebration. Jumping out of his skin, our MC instantly makes up a lie that their dad and brother sent him to bring her home. His sister just glares at him, clearly not buying his excuse at all. Walking together, she notes how much he's changed and that he never cared about others before, but she refuses to go back and tells him to head home first. Taking a seat on a swing, she mentions she's crashing at a friend's place and that person is already on the way. Teasing him, the little sister asks if this friend is her girlfriend, but our MC gets annoyed, saying he's straight and that some girls have even confessed to him. Not backing down, Suzy Mai pushes and asks who that person is, leaving our boy deep in thought. Suddenly, a blonde woman sneaks up behind them, throws her arm around our boy's shoulder and says she's her teacher. Scared out of his mind, our MC jumps back, and the woman apologizes for sneaking up on him like that. Suzy Mai then explains to the lady, who's actually her teacher, that this is her brother and she doesn't need to treat him like a stranger. Awkwardly saying hi, our boy figures this must be his sister's teacher from the exorcist side. Reaching her hand out, the woman introduces herself as Kei-Churi, claiming she's Suzy Mai's friend and has heard a ton about him. Shaking her hand, our MC introduces himself as Gu Wenyu, and the system instantly warns that his detection and containment sense skills are active. The system then displays Kashiri's profile, a second-order exorcist with high stats and a rare item, making our boy realize she's way above average for an exorcist. But he quickly realizes that no matter how cracked she is, she's absolutely no match for the two calamity-tier monsters he's got sitting at home. Staying silent for a moment, Kei-Churi just analyzes our MC with a super curious look. Announcing he's leaving his sister with her and bouncing, he says he needs to head home and then hang with friends, which seriously annoys Suzy Mai, while the system updates his quests. Thinking it over, he realizes he made progress on the first two quests, but still hasn't figured out his sister's real identity, and then the system drops two new tasks. Investigate Suzy Mai and his best bro, Li Qingping. Our MC figures the quest didn't clear because even though he knows his dad and brother's secrets, he still doesn't know his sister's exact rank among the exorcists, so he decides he has to tail her. As her boy walks away, Kei-Churi looks thoughtful, remembering that weird feeling she got when they shook hands. Noticing she's spacing out, Suzy Mai asks what's up, calling her captain. Giving a serious look, Kei-Churi replies that her brother seems a bit unusual. Totally lost, Suzy Mai just stares at her teacher with a super confused look. Turning her back, Kei-Churi gets this dark aura around her, wondering what the heck is going on with the girl's brother. Unleashing her power, a bizarre creature made of film rolls pops up as the teacher decides there's only one way to find out the truth, testing our boy. The teacher summons her beast, a freaky entity made of film reels, along with another monster looking like a movie projector getting ready to test our guy out. Cutting in, Suzy Mai asks what the deal is, wanting to know what's so special about her brother, and joking if she somehow caught feelings for him. Getting serious, Kei-Churi asks where she even got that idea, but figures from the girl's reaction that she has zero clue her brother is an Esper. Because of that, the teacher just decides to drop it, figuring it's none of her business anyway. Lighting a cigarette right after, she changes the subject, telling Suzy Mai to pack her bags and spend the summer at her place since she refuses to go home. Annoyed, the girl calls her teacher a chain smoker, asking if she dropped the act just because her brother left, while Kei-Churi thinks she can't let the kid know his little sister is spending the summer with an old smoker. Suzy Mai says she couldn't care less what he thinks, asking if they're taking the train demon to Tokyo, and the teacher confirms she's got business with the Exorcist Association in Japan. The younger girl demands tempura, and Kei-Churi agrees to buy whatever she wants. Meanwhile, our MC is already home, and the system pulls up his character stats showing his strength, speed, and spirit are all sitting at rank C. The system then announces his character, Black Poopa, has 3 free points, so our boy dumps 2 into strength and 1 into speed, buffing his stats. After leveling up his stats, our MC tells the system to swap over to the skill tree panel. The Dark Containment skill tree pops up, revealing a bunch of power paths, including a hidden branch called Containment Truth. Figuring the only way to farm more skill points is by making a second character and grinding quests so he's safe if the first one bites the dust. Our guy selects Containment Truth. The system confirms he learned the new skill, letting him force targets to spill the truth, making our MC decide he's gonna settle the score with the director in a few days. He remembers when the instructors dragged him out of the orphanage without letting him take a thing, realizing the staff there definitely played a massive part in it. With glowing red eyes and covered in dark energy, our MC mentally warns the old director to start praying, hoping he's got an answer that'll satisfy him. The system reminds him he's got one skill point left, showing the next option, Containment Color Shift, which spends a point to turn his straps invisible and triggers stealth mode. Loving how perfect it is for tailing people, he worries about becoming a glass cannon. Even so, he decides it's the only way since he doesn't need skills to beat weaklings, spending his point on Containment Color Shift. Right after, the next skill on the tree unlocks, Containment Trap, which sets up a minefield that snares the legs of any enemy stepping inside. Loving the skill description and thinking it's super cheesy, our MC complains about being out of points. Just then, the system reveals his unique training system's name, the Social Superstar System. This system rewards him for bonding with extraordinary beings, and he's already knocked out 1 of 3. Our boy then figures his real-world instructor's about to show up, hoping he brings some solid intel. Then, Total Division mode kicks in, and the system warns that after a 1-hour load, his mind will pilot the game avatar 24/7 without needing to sleep to log in. Out of nowhere, a voice announces that restricted Esper number 1002 Jimingmi needs to get ready because his instructor's here for questioning. The scene shifts, and our MC, back as Jimingmi, is in a room while a guy behind some glass says he plans on introducing him to the other kids. Totally surprised, our boy just asks what exactly he means by other kids. Taking a sip of his drink, the instructor explains he means the other kids locked up in there, and that he should play nice with them. Flashing a smirk, our guy asks if the man isn't worried they'll team up and plot a massive prison break. But the instructor shoots it down, saying that's not a concern since they know every kid's deal in there, except for his. Laying on the bed, Jimini fires back that he doesn't even understand himself, so they never will, taking the chance to ask about those 2 other extraordinary races the guy mentioned. The guy says that's exactly why he's here, revealing they actually suspect our boy isn't an Esper, but a curio bearer, or an exorcist. Right then a new system unlocks, the Key Intelligence System, which boosts the odds of his future avatar spawning with higher stats as he collects more lore on the extraordinary races. The system tracks his world-building progress, 40% for Espers, 5% for exorcists, and a measly 1% for curio bearers. Our MC, acting as Jimingmi, realizes holding off on making new characters was a big brain move, so now he plans to milk every drop of intel from the instructor to roll an ultra-rare avatar next. The man behind the glass asks which of the 2 groups he wants to hear about first. Starting his answer, our boy says, I, but gets cut off. Suddenly, he clutches his head, hit by this unbearable pain that catches him completely off guard. In pure agony, he feels like his head is splitting, like someone hammered a nail right into his skull, drilling a hole and scrambling his brain. A system warning pops up confirming parasite mode is active. Because of that, his little sister's vision and all the final products are now fully shared. Grabbing his head from the impact, our MC sees another alert, suggesting he toggle this off via any character's panel if he can't adapt or if his core starts cracking. Panting hard, our boy notices the collar didn't trigger at all. This totally confirms his theory that the gear doesn't register his ability as an attack. The guy asked what's wrong with him. Playing it off, our MC blames it on oversleeping since he's got nothing else to do, asking him to start with the curio bearers since it sounds way more fun. Taking a quiet pause, the man ends up agreeing to the request. Swirling a metal cup, the guy starts telling this total fairy tale about a giant fish that had something hiding in its belly. Killing the vibe, our MC tells him to get serious and drop that 3-year-old bedtime story voice. The informant then agrees to switch up his tone since the kid hated it. Getting back to the lore, the informant reveals these bears rarely pop up in normal cities. Their actual hideout is straight up inside the belly of that giant fish called Kikapawa. Seeing the massive creature floating there, it's impossible to guess how huge the world inside it is. This colossal space in the monster's stomach is known by the community as the Whale Box Garden. Deep inside that garden, they built massive structures like the Sea King Metropolis and a bunch of royal palaces. It's exactly inside those palaces where the bearer families live. Raising his hand, our guy cuts the chatter, saying he doesn't care who lives in some beast's guts. He wants to cut to the chase and know what a bearer actually is and what they can do. Straightening up, the guy explains that every bearer awakens at a certain age and gets their own codex. It's that book that guides them to the nearest domains. Those domains hold the fragments, and if a bearer clears the place using their own strength, they claim that piece. Using the codex, they channel the power sealed inside those crystals, and that's how they fight. Paying close attention, our MC asks what happens next, wanting to know the actual use of those rocks they farm like literal trash. The guy explains the fragments are stored in the codex and ranked into 4 tiers: mythic, generational, and common. The most overpowered ones are in the first tier, which, obviously, are tied to myths from all over the world. In all of history, only a few legendary fragments ever dropped. Records only mention a handful like the Lord of Gods Rem, Yamata no Orochi, the sun god Ra, and Hades the king of the underworld. Getting super curious, our boy asks about the tier right below that, wanting the scoop on the generational ones. Sitting there, the informant bets the kid has heard names like Holy Child, World Burial Curse, and White Owl Chronicle. He explains that when these events spread through rumors, they turn into curios and leave fragments behind. Today, the strongest fighters are the ones rocking generational pieces, since they all pack the power to awaken history. With a dead serious look, the guy claims without capping that if someone gets their hands on an ancient god fragment, they basically unlock absurd power. With that, wiping a whole country off the map would just be a matter of time. 2 system screens pop up saying crucial universe lore was acquired. This storyline's progress jumped to 30%, massively boosting the odds of rolling high potential characters during creation. Surprised, our boy notes the bar spiked straight to 30%, realizing the instructor wasn't bluffing about that intel at all. Looking at his own hand, he wonders if, based on what the guy said, these curio bearers are actually way more dangerous than him. The glasses guy claps back, warning that historically almost no one has ever mastered a mythic artifact, pointing out that ending the entire world and destroying just one country are on completely different levels. Flashing a smirk, our MC gets cocky, concluding he's the real prodigy around here. But the informant stares him down super seriously, saying he hopes the kid gets that they're just here to help. Tossing himself back on the bed, the kid asks who exactly "we" is, since he still has zero clue who the guy's squad even is. Turning his head, the man says that's something he has to keep totally classified for now. Lifting his head looking confused, our MC asks if he isn't part of the Esper Association. With his back turned, the instructor explains their job is way more dangerous and hated than the associations, making it clear they don't belong to the bearers or the exorcists either. Laying there, our boy figures he saw that coming, knowing he wasn't going to drag the whole truth right out of the guy's mouth. Then the man gets back on track, saying that's enough on this topic for today and announcing the next lesson is all about exorcists. But suddenly, a system strange pops up saying Calamity Tier Esper number 10,459 requested a meeting with the instructor, who looks totally shocked. The kid sits up, finding it insane that a Calamity Tier guy showed up out of nowhere, complaining this dump is full of monsters and guessing he's not getting the intel on the last race today. Setting down his metal cup, the informant says he's got business to handle, cutting the chat short, but promises to finish the story later if the kid still cares, and he just nods. Left alone, our MC thinks to himself that his prep work is basically wrapped up anyway. Closing his eyes, he realizes that besides the exorcists, he's got a solid grip on the other 2 races, meaning his odds of rolling a cracked character just went through the roof. Right after, the panel opens asking if he wants to drop 3 division points to roll a brand new game avatar in the real world. The UI updates warning a dice roll is coming up and telling him to pick any number from 1 to 6. Standing in a dark digital space, our MC has no clue what's going on when a massive black dice with red dots spawns right above him. Pointing his finger, he guesses number 6, making the thing slam down super hard while the screen instantly locks in his pick. The dice lands and the system drops a congrats, saying he won the bet. As a reward, the roll is rigged in his favor, giving him an extra character slot to pick from. Blue cubes pop up on the screen and the panel tells him to pick 2 of the 3 custom characters on the list. One of them is going to become his second game avatar and enter the stage known as the simulated world. The first file introduces Xiao Zhe Nana, a 17-year-old human Esper. Her base strength and speed are C+, and her spirit is C+, bringing her starting rank to a solid C+. Her lore reveals she's a Japanese performer whose dad was taken out by hitmen in black. After that, she got sold to the dance district, where she awakened her thorn skill, swearing pure revenge against the dark path. Scanning the file, RMC mentions he doesn't mind playing a female character but thinks this backstory is way too heavy. Because of that, he decides to instantly skip this one. File number 2 shows R. Padanat, a 25-year-old human news courier with all stats and his base grade hard stuck at rank D. Our boy immediately rejects the idea, calling his stats total trash compared to the rest, even though he really wanted to try a curio bearer after the instructor's lore drop. Suddenly, RMC gets a massive jump scare when a red danger alert flashes right in his face. Next second, a bunch of other warning screens start popping up like crazy, totally glitching out the digital space around him. A screen alert warns that total division mode is on mine. It says rolling a second character will split his mind across 3 bodies all at once, massively boosting the feeling of being ripped to shreds. Floating in the digital space, our MC closes his eyes looking super bored. Right then, the panel suggests toggling that option off before spawning the new avatar. Our boy figures thinking with 3 brains is no big deal. He decides that if he can't even handle this, he'll never break his real body out of that dump, let alone focus on his revenge. With a fierce look, our MC widens his eyes, proving he's absolutely locked in to keep going. Swiping his hand with purpose, our guy decides to check the 3rd profile on the list. He prays it's not another Esper, and begs for the base stats not to be pure trash like the last guy. The panel flashes that a rare exorcist character popped up in the role. Surprised, our boy comments that he got the race he knows the least about, wondering if his luck is really just that cracked. A bunch of light blocks merge on screen, forming the file image and introducing profile number 3. The file drops for Xiaoping Zhou, a 19-year-old Asian human. His base stats hit D in strength, while both speed and spirit sit at C++, bringing the dude's starting grade to that same high tier. The system explains exorcists fight using a divine impulse, which is a weapon forged straight from their soul. When they level up, they contract a demon to evolve their gear. The file says Pingzhou is first order with an SS rarity chess-type impulse, already rocking a contract with a shadow demon. Staring totally dumbfounded at a flaming magic scroll right in front of him, our MC is left completely speechless. Looking at the glowing document covered in weird runes, he instantly asks if that's the literal demon contract. Gripping the fiery paper tight, the panel confirms Pingzhou is locked in, stating he's gonna drop into the real world as the 2nd avatar of the run. The system offers 2 growth paths, Frenzy or Righteous Exorcist. Our guy totally mocks it, saying it's a no-brainer, and locks in the first choice since the second one sounds boring as hell. The screen confirms the Blood Hunt route and warns a unique training system is booting up. While the character's silhouette glows hard, another prompt tells him to wait for the real-world spawn, tweaking the lore so his existence makes perfect sense over there. Eyes closed and completely focused, our MC gets the ping that his Tokyo, Japan login is prepping and the final countdown is about to drop. The UI flashes on screen, kicking off the countdown and hitting 3, 2. Right after, the panel ticks down to number 1, wrapping up the wait. The scene cuts to a massive skyline view of the Tokyo metropolis. The sign says it's Shiba Park in the Minato district, clocking in at 7:30 a.m. Standing at the base of a giant tower, the new character looks up, impressed, and says so. This is the famous city. A system alert pops up saying the 2nd character's memories are loading in. Then, a 5-second timer starts to beam it all straight into our MC's brain. Grabbing his head, he complains, "Here we go again." Our boy grumbles that it's the exact same recipe and feeling as when he rolled the first avatar. The flashbacks show Pingzhou worked as an exorcist for 2 years. Back then, a teammate named Red Light totally wiped out the whole squad out of nowhere on a mission, leaving only him alive and making the guy retire. But soon after, his family got taken out by an exorcist known as Jack the Ripper. From that day on, getting revenge became the kid's only goal in life. It took him a whole year just to track down the killer's guild. The criminal's crew goes by the name White Crow Brigade. That faction is a squad of 12 thugs, mixing espers, bears, and exorcists. They travel the whole world looting and dusting people with absolutely zero limits. To infiltrate the team and get close enough to find his target, the new avatar hit up their captain on the dark web. He even locked in a meetup for the next few days. Giving an awkward smile, our MC ironically comments on the mess. He thinks it's just wonderful that another avatar handed him a lifelong grudge on a silver platter. Searching through the guy's mind, he figures out how things work. Our boy discovers his current powers come from 4 chess pieces. Those items are the king, queen, pawn, and rook. Every time he activates one, the unit manifests into reality and blindly follows the master's orders. The memory also explains that every exorcist has a destiny weapon called Divine Impulse. The class splits into 3 ranks, and every level up means signing a demon contract that fuses with the gear to become part of it. Their job is literally exorcising evil monsters. When the kid's impulse first awakened, the power wave hit double S rank, which is basically unheard of worldwide. Looking at his own hand, our MC realizes his main avatar's skill is better for support and spying, completely lacking heavy damage. He figures that if this build focuses on frontline combat, it'll easily cover his biggest weakness. To clear his doubts immediately, he decides to pop open the character's skill tree right then and there. A blue panel materializes glowing right in front of the guy. The screen shows branch 1, called Swarm, totally focused on recruiting soldiers. Costing 1 skill point, it unlocks 2 pawn pieces for him to use. Right below that, the other 2 path options show up. Branch number 2 focuses on bravery to evolve pieces, and 3 prioritizes soul for hunting demons. Seeing those tabs, our MC flashes a smirk, sounding surprised. He thinks it's super cool having a solid amount of options to pick from. The panel details that evolving upgrades every item, pushing them from black iron body straight to bronze. That guarantees a massive buff to the unit's base stats. Meanwhile, the hunter talent explains that taking down a beast with the pieces gives a chance to drop a unique item, except it can only be summoned once, and if it gets wrecked, it won't respawn ever again like regular troops. Casually strolling down a small street in Tokyo, our boy pieces the intel together. He concludes this new avatar's build is purely focused on a summoner playstyle. Our new MC gets an anonymous text at 8 in the morning. The message tells him to hit up the underground bar in Tokyo's Alley 5, where the squad is already waiting in booth 3. Reading it with a deadpan look, the kid instantly guesses the text has to be from the White Crow Brigade. Since today was the exact day planned for their first meetup, there's no other option. Adjusting his jacket, he mutters that it's time to make a move. Soon enough, the guy is at the bar's entrance, noticing that even though it's early, the place is already packed with people drinking and partying like crazy. Taking it all in, he mentally wonders if these guys pulled an all-nighter drinking. Finding their energy absurdly high, he walks up to a door labeled 03, locking in that the whole squad must be chilling inside the VIP room. He notes that this exact crew has double S-rank targets sitting right on the association's most wanted list. Reaching for the doorknob, our boy quietly prays he doesn't get dusted too fast and ruin everything. He swears he needs to keep this avatar alive until he can roll a third one, otherwise all his master plans go straight down the drain. With his hand shaking from nerves, he grabs the handle to swing the door open. The second he opens it, our boy is totally shook, eyes wide, absolutely clueless about what he's looking at. Right in front of him stands this stunning black-haired woman rocking a red kimono. She stares the kid down super seriously from head to toe, showing off those glowing red eyes. Staring coldly, she just stands there in the doorway without saying a single word. Hearing that, the red-eyed girl zeroes in on him with a serious and kinda gloomy look. Our boy stays right back at the woman standing there. Lifting her head, the woman straight up asks if he's the new guy. Nodding, our MC follows up immediately, asking if they're the brigade members. Barely breaking eye contact, the girl calls out for some guy named Ayase, asking if their guest finally showed up. From inside, a guy confirms he matches the picture perfectly as substitute number 12. He explains the captain is super interested in his skills, so they came to see if he passes their vibe check first, telling him to just come on in. Flashing a smile, the dude suggests they introduce themselves, saying his name is Anlins, and he holds the number 11 spot in the crew. Then this freaky guy with a monitor for a head introduces himself as Robert, sitting at number 7. He mentions everyone calls him Turniphead and gives the rookie a pass to use the nickname too. Meanwhile, the mystery girl stays completely quiet, just watching the whole thing unfold. But out of nowhere she raises her hand, firing off a glowing spell that sends a blast of paper straight at him. The razor-sharp attack flies full force, tearing through the air right at our MC. The blast violently slices the room as the attacker fixes her outfit right after the strike. With a super chill face, the rookie realizes it's a paper control skill, and finally introduces himself as Sha Ping Zhou, announcing he's here to claim the number 12 spot. Checking his watch, Anlins nods and mentions it's about time they bounce from this place anyway, except he tosses some cards on the table, warning that before they dip there's some business they gotta take care of. Number 11 explains the boss ordered them to wipe out everyone in the bar before leaving, since some of them are planning to crash an auction next week, and that totally clashes with their schedule. Getting the picture, our boy instantly guesses, asking if his entry test is literally just wiping out the entire crowd. Then Amlin summons a slot machine and denies it, saying this is just a little side hustle. He drops the truth that if the boss wants the rookie on the team, dusting these guys doesn't even count as a test, and the only question is how to get the job done with the least amount of effort. Staring at the object, our MC MC realizes that's the guy's ability and gets super curious about what it actually does. The veteran tells him to chill and pulls the slot machine lever, wanting to see if they roll something that saves them the hassle. The slot machine starts spinning its gears like crazy, getting ready to reveal the jackpot. The spin stops, locking in on 3 missile icons. Seeing the result, Onlin smirks and mentions that what he rolled is pretty flashy. Without wasting time, Turnip Head snaps his fingers, opening a glowing door behind him and telling the rookie to hurry up. Meanwhile, the kimono girl walks toward the portal, warning our guy to move his feet unless he wants to get blown up too. Surprised, our MC figures out that guy has a literal teleport skill. But before he can think too much, Anlins grabs his shoulder, saying they're heading somewhere way more fun. Right then, the machine glows intensely, charging up massive energy. It explodes into dozens of sparks that fly absolutely everywhere. In the blink of an eye, the blast forms a massive, totally dangerous-looking missile. The rookie instantly gets how cracked the summoned item is. He figures with the kind of damage that Rocket is gonna do, there's zero chance anyone in the bar makes it out alive. He notices it's not just the bar, but the whole alley and even the apartment blocks around it are gonna get wiped. Nobody is gonna be left to tell the tale. After they walk through the portal, our boy sharpens his look and asks what their next move is. Curious, he questions why they're suddenly chilling in an abandoned office building out of nowhere. The suited dude hears him and asks what the rookie is even talking about. He coldly explains they're here since everyone back at the bar just got totally wiped off the map. But our boy stays locked and activates his sit and change of plans. Reminds in him the original idea was to just dust the guys inside. Anlin smiles, totally calm, and shoots back, asking if the people outside and the guys inside didn't all pass away exactly the same. He insists that in the end, the result was exactly what they wanted. Glancing over, he announces they're in an office building right in Tokyo's port district. The government forcefully shut the place down after 2 employees actually worked themselves to death. Says that day, the building's been completely abandoned. You can even read the sign on the wall saying, "Work is war," telling everyone to keep their performance up 24/7. Feeling that corporate energy, our boy jokes asking if some wage slave demon spawned in here. He quickly drops the joke and asks straight up why they brought him here. One of the members answers bluntly that it's to do what exorcists do best, while a freaky creature starts bubbling up right behind him. Staring at the scene, our MC acts a bit surprised, asking if that massive beast is actually a demon. Looking at the giant monster, the guy hears the trio is gonna hang back and watch him throw hands with the beast. Then they'll grade his performance. Holding up 2 fingers, the judge warns that if at least 2 of them don't like his fight, the punishment won't just be a simple rejection from the squad. With a sinister smile, the guy promises they'll completely body the rookie right there without a second thought. Then the dude warns that his opponent arrived, asking if he's not gonna say hi to the freak, but our MC stays totally quiet, just analyzing the situation. A system panel pops up showing the first main quest: hit the meetup spot and pass the brigade's entry test. Looking at his own hands, our MC figures this offer really isn't something he can just turn down. So, he adjusts his jacket with a smirk, saying, "Alright, ready to see what they bring to the table." Right then, the bizarre demon starts shaking and repeating the word performance non-stop. The massive 3-headed freak grips a giant keyboard and a huge coffee cup, still mumbling about performance while glaring down at the rookie. Watching everything from the upper floor, Anlins introduces the opponent, calling it the worker demon. Heaping a smile, the veteran explains the beast spawned from the grudge of those 2 employees who worked themselves to death right there. But the mystery girl cuts him off, telling him he's overhyping it since no one here has ever seen this kind of monster before. Laughing it off, number 11 admits he always wanted to give a dramatic speech like that at least once. But our boy claps back instantly, saying the thing isn't scary at all, and he just feels deep sadness coming from it, asking what office workers ever did to them. While the monster raises its work weapon demanding results, our MC reflects on how messed up it is that a guy grinds until he kicks the bucket, only to get stuck carrying heavy gear just to become an XP farm. Then he summons a bunch of chess pieces floating right around him, calling the beast out for a head-on fight. Charging in, the demon attacks, slamming the giant keyboard hard into the ground and demanding a raise, but the guy dodges it super easily, holding a glowing object. The rookie comments that if he remembers right, this is exactly how you're supposed to play these pieces. Right after he crushes the item, shattering its shape into a bunch of light fragments. Furious, the 3-headed monster tries another brutal hit, demanding performance again, but fails miserably, just smashing the room's floor. The impact of the strike cracks the concrete, kicking up dust and dark debris all over the fight zone. Pausing the assault for a sec, the beast lifts its face and whispers in a freaky way, asking about working overtime. With keyboard pieces flying past his head, our MC flashes a confident smile, announcing he finally gets the whole setup. Suddenly, a giant king statue spawns behind him, and the panel warns the piece doesn't attack, but casts a force field protecting the user from all physical and mental damage, forcing enemies to break the shield first if they want to hurt him. Anlins finds the power curious, mentioning that's a pretty interesting gift. The girl agrees, stating she's never seen anything like that before either. Turnip Head notes it's a super rare ability, instantly understanding why the boss was so hyped about him. Meanwhile, the demon keeps screaming for overtime non-stop. Then the freak goes wild, smashing its giant keyboard full force into the ground over and over. Dodging the hits, our MC mocks it, saying that's definitely not gonna work. Watching from above, the veteran praises his technique, admitting it's not half bad. But the monster doesn't even care, locking onto the king statue and screaming about working harder again. Going full meathead, the creature demands a promotion and slams the massive coffee cup right onto the glowing figure. The heavy blow hits dead center while our MC watches the damage up close. Right then, the rookie realizes he has to protect the shield, because if it drops, there's nothing left to guard his real body, so he immediately pulls out the pawn. The system flashes instantly, confirming the soldier base just spawned right there. The screen explains the summon has super basic stats, being a slow sword fighter, but it makes up for the flaws by relying on pure numbers. Out of nowhere, a black mass armed with a massive blade appears, slicing the air to block the giant mug. The armored unit reveals its sinister form, staring down the target totally ready to throw hands. Except the corporate beast doesn't quit, throwing a devastating punch and demanding that overtime pay once again. Holding a solid guard, the pawn blocks the hit, taking the full weight of the attack right on its weapon. The collision is so brutal that the attacker gets knocked back, sparking dark energy from the impact. Totally triggered, the wage slave screams furiously, clashing powers with the guard trying to stop his push. As the stage gets wrecked by the attacks, our boy runs, figuring that if one single soldier can hold its ground against an enemy this strong, a full army is going to be insanely OP once he gets the right setup. Stretching his hand, our guy summons the rook piece as the panel confirms the base has manifested. The screen details the unit shoots with crazy firepower but needs a quick cooldown right after the shot's flash goes off. With zero chance to block, the corporate monster takes the blast head-on and gets blown back by the force. Our MC holds his ground, just watching the total destruction tear up the floor right in front of him. All bruised up and smoking, the beast grumbles, complaining that the hit really hurt. Holding a fresh piece, the rookie claims this should be more than enough to end the fight. The panel beeps again, confirming the queen just dropped in. The armed female figure spawns behind him, and the system explains she's the fastest unit on the roster, fighting with dual daggers, joking that only the king knows why she rocks such a crazy kit. With a sharp glare, the warrior locks onto the enemy, completely ready to strike. Snapping his fingers, our MC gives the order, and the summon dashes forward, cracking the floor with absurd speed. The assassin slices through the air, rushing straight at the beast with her blade ready to dice. Screaming the word performance, the wage slave charges up a massive punch, trying to crush the woman, except she easily dodges the hit, sliding right under its giant arm without breaking a sweat. Confused by her crack speed, the beast goes into shock, still complaining indignantly about its overtime. Giving zero openings, the royal unit shreds the target, landing a crazy fast combo all at once. The demon's body gets completely sliced up, immediately starting to disintegrate on the spot. Right then, the screen pops up saying a rank C target bit the dust, updating character number 2's exclusive training progress. Rolling in the dirt, the creature's head keeps mumbling about performance before fading away completely. Sweating bullets, the guy finds it weird that the warrior plays like a pure assassin, wondering if the system mixed up her files, then remembers that in chess, a pawn turns into a queen when it crosses the board. Looking back, he stares the veterans down, totally calm, asking straight up if he's finally qualified to join the brigade. Anlins instantly votes yes, saying he thought the skill was super fun and interesting. He adds he's never seen an exorcist like this before, and since the boss is curious, his vote is locked in. Turnip Head admits the power has insane potential, but thinks our MC is way too weak, and running with the crew might just get the kid killed, but he quickly drops it, telling them to forget it since the other two approved, and his vote won't change a thing anyway. Just then, number 11 puts a hand on his buddy's shoulder, pointing out it doesn't work like that and revealing he still has the chance to veto the rookie. Flashing a sinister smile, the veteran makes it clear that if he drops the veto, our MC is getting wiped right then and there without a second thought. So don't forget to drop a like and support the channel.